Good morning. Brothers and sisters in labor, my fellow pilots, thank you and good morning to you all. It has been and continues to be an honor and a privilege to serve as your first Vice President and National Safety Coordinator for the past 4 years, and to make this report to the entire Board of Directors. Together, we keep our passengers flying, we get our cargo to its destinations safely and securely, because we are organized, speaking together in one voice. We are stronger together than we could ever be alone. And we've been very busy these few days, and we'll continue to be busy, I know. So I want to jump right in to updating you on the outstanding work being done by the Air Safety Organization in the areas of safety, security, pilot assistance, and jump seats, as well as touch on the continuing growth of ALPA PAC. As NSC, I'm proud to coordinate and direct the efforts of more than 425 safety representatives from Canada and the United States, who are the heart and soul of the Air Safety Organization, and you saw some of them stand up just recently. It's the largest non-governmental safety organization in the world. Now, whether meeting with local airport officials, presenting before a regulatory agency, or working with decision makers on Capitol or Parliament Hills, every one of these pilot volunteers is a shining example of our association's credibility and expertise, continuing a tradition that extends over 87 years. They reinforce our union's role as the conscience of the airline industry, because when we speak to government and industry leaders about our concerns and our ideas, our voice is heard loud and clear. Bar none, we are the best, the very best at what we do. And our members should always remember that, because we are the ones who are out there every day and every night, flying the line and ensuring the safety and security of the passengers and cargo entrusted to our care. Now, the credibility and expertise to which I speak are showcased with the premier aviation safety event that we hold each year, the Air Safety Forum. The past 2 forums held at this very location were overwhelmingly successful, with near record crowds of pilots, along with government and industry stakeholders from both the United States and Canada, discussing how to advance safety and launch new initiatives. Keynote speakers at the forum included a virtual who's who of top-level allies and advocates of our industry, including several members of Congress who are champions of our profession. Can I see a round of hands here? How many people have ever attended one of our air safety forums? Okay, there's quite a few, not enough though. I highly recommend, I realize it takes quite a bit of resources and time, but I assure you, ask the people who have ever gone to this, and it will be professionally life-changing for most people to see the level of involvement of our volunteers at the highest levels of government and the regulators. I mean, it's truly incredible. So please, if you can, encourage your members to attend. Now, for several years now, the association has also held a series of one-day conferences focused on timely issues for our profession and our industry. These well-attended meetings have generated ongoing discussions on how pilots, industry stakeholders, and government regulators can work together to improve transportation security, voluntary safety action programs, cargo safety, issues relating to human factors, and many, many more initiatives. Our ongoing safety efforts, led by Captain Steve Jangelis, are at full throttle. As you heard Captain Canole mention just previously, we have successfully defended our robust first officer qualification and pilot training rules in the United States. And I have to reemphasize that point for a moment. The final FAA reauthorization bill did not include language that would have undermined the safety of our skies. As everyone in this room can attest, the rules have been one of the greatest advancements in our profession. Despite how others falsely draw the conclusion that those rules are affecting pilot supply, we know the facts. We know the real reasons for that. We acknowledge the barriers to entering the profession, but are active in many discussions on improving access. In fact, last month, ALPA was the voice of the profession at an FAA-sponsored symposium addressing the future of the aviation workforce. Despite what others would have you believe, we cannot and we will not allow any rollback in the training and qualifications of the most important and effective safety features on airline aircraft today. And I guess you probably all know what that is. That is a well-trained, well-rested, and highly experienced pilots on the flight deck. Now, turning our attention to the carriage of dangerous goods, ALPA continues to advocate for the harmonization of U.S. hazardous material regulations with the international standards set forth by ICAO in 2016. And we were successful in advocating for this to be included in the recent FAA reauthorization. We've made progress elsewhere on this initiative as well. In collaboration with the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, our dangerous goods subject matter experts have been instrumental in developing the Check the Box educational campaign, designed to educate and inform shippers, both commercial and general public, on the risks associated with undeclared transport of hazardous materials, such as lithium batteries. The campaign features a colorful character called Hazmat, replete with his flaming hair, who reminds shippers to always check the box. This collaborative initiative is a clear step towards safer skies by ensuring that hazmat shipments are properly labeled, packaged, and declared. Now, as we look forward, the sky is no longer the limit when it comes to the association's influence, as new entrants are accessing our national airspace every day. As you're aware, the commercial space industry is expanding rapidly, and use of unmanned aircraft has grown at an unprecedented rate. To be clear, we welcome new technologies and advancements to safely integrate into the skies that we all share. Thanks to you and your efforts giving ALPA a strong voice, the recent FAA reauthorization bill requires the establishment of training requirements for all drone operators and permits the agency to fully regulate unmanned aircraft systems, including those, finally, for modelers and hobbyists. These changes enhance the safety of all who operate in the national airspace. We're always willing to bring our safety expertise and experience to industry meetings, like we do on the Drone Advisory Committee, to ensure that airline pilots, the chief users of the airspace, have a voice and are heard, and as issues arise that affect how we operate, both now and in the years to come. Now, good news. In April of this year, ALPA was part of a group that received the Aviation Week Laureate Award for our work with both the Commercial Air Safety Team, or CAST, and the Aviation Safety Information Analysis and Sharing System, or ASIAS. As part of this unparalleled collaboration between government and industry to improve aviation safety, we have exceeded our initial goal and were successful in reducing the Part 121 commercial passenger and cargo aviation fatality risk by 83%. That is 83%. Let's not forget we are still moving human beings and cargo in aluminum composite tubes in the lower stratosphere. Compare that record to any record in the history of mankind in terms of transportation. Considering what we do, it's absolutely phenomenal. And it's all done through a robust data collection effort. We have completely shifted from a forensic type approach, where we used to, something would happen and we'd try to figure out why, to a risk predictive model now, and that's the result of it. And now our goal is to make aviation even safer by cutting the remaining risk in half in 2025, leveraging industry data and analysis tools from ASIAS, like I just mentioned. One of our challenges in this regard is a significant disparity in the regulations, you all know this, between passenger and cargo airline operations. Cargo operators' fatal accident rate is approximately, ready, 7 times higher than that of passenger operations. To reach that goal, the CAST, or the Commercial Air Safety Team, has formed a working group under ALPA's leadership to focus specifically on that disparity. The CAST, or Commercial Air Safety Team, Joint Implementation Measurement Data Analysis Team, I know that's a mouthful, referred to as the JIMDAT, has a cargo working group that has meetings to compare and contrast risk and operational differences between cargo and passenger operations. This is a monumental moment in the history of solving that problem. This group is finishing up its work and is primed to present its findings on risk differences between passenger and cargo toward the end of this calendar year. Now, shifting gears. Meanwhile, on the security side, our association's work under the leadership of Captain Wolfgang Koch moves on. The known crew member and pre-check programs, who doesn't like known crew member, were nominated earlier this year for the 2017 Collier Trophy, the first security program to ever receive such a distinction. And while we ultimately were not selected for the honor, the nomination alone is a valuable testament to the groundbreaking importance of these risk-based programs to flight crews and the flying public, and of ALPA's involvement in both. And KCM continues to expand. At last count, there were 221 access points we're up to 94 airports now, with more sites being identified and implemented each day. In a typical week, I don't know if you know, but more than 60,000 pilots and flight attendants utilize KCM, saving them valuable time and hassles, and allowing resources, this is the most important part, to be redirected where they're needed the most. And we just passed a huge milestone in KCM. The 100 millionth expedited screening of a crew member occurred in early September, a landmark feat you might have heard about mentioned in the news recently. Now, the Federal Flight Deck Duty Officer Program also continues to grow and improve. The recent FAA reauthorization includes a provision for the harmonization of FFDO firearms requirements with that of the Federal Air Marshal Service, and allows FFDOs to requalify at TSA-approved facilities. Congress has also mandated that TSA created more facilities for the requalification and recurrent training, and now requires that airlines permit pilots to attend FFDO and initial and recurrent training using unpaid leave. While the program enjoys strong support at the moment, we continue to monitor the threats to this vital and cost-effective program so that we know provides the last line of defense for our cockpits. But the security team is not resting on its laurels. In light of several high-profile events, our team of pilot volunteers is developing guidance on handling unruly passengers and is involved in discussions to develop new street smarts videos on what to do in an airport active shooter scenario. Look forward to that. Now, this is a big one. In the realm of pilot assistance, our pilot volunteers, led by United First Officer John Taylor, continue their invaluable work that is truly at the personal core of this union, helping fellow aviators who may be struggling privately or professionally. The newest pilot assistance program is the Pilot Peer Support Program, and this is something I am truly, truly excited about. As you know, I think that helping our fellow pilots is the true purpose of our union, and perhaps the highest calling, the best thing that we do. I've always said that you can judge the character of an organization by the way it comes to its members in need. And I assure you folks, the folks in PA are the unsung heroes. They circle the wagons when people have a problem. And because of the nature of the work that they do, much of it is kept very confidential. But they have served our members for many, many years, saving the lives of many of our pilots, their families, and their careers. And I've seen their work, and that's why I've been so involved in the pilot peer support. And I know it would mean a lot if you gave them a round of applause right now. Thank you. Thank you, John Taylor. Appreciate it. This new program will provide support to our members who are dealing with issues in their personal lives that could affect their professional performance. Administered by the Aeromedical Group, the Pilot Peer Support Program, or PPS program, was reviewed by a group of mental health professionals and aeromedical doctors and is the result of hundreds of hours of research and dedication by pilots and staff. And I'm proud to have overseen the launch of this new initiative. In fact, I'd like to show everyone a video that shares a little bit more and give you a little bit more information about this new program. So please roll the video.
Studies have shown that being an airline pilot is one of the most stressful occupations known. Time changes, differing sleep environments, and operational demands can take their toll, particularly if they're combined with family, financial, or other personal problems. To help pilots manage life's various mental and emotional stresses, and to maintain our high level of job performance in aviation safety and security, ALPA has developed the Pilot Peer Support Program to help combat life's everyday stresses. Made up of a network of highly trained pilot volunteers, this confidential call line is available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Around the clock, pilot volunteers are ready to listen and respond to fellow pilots who have work and non-work related issues alike, be they personal or emotional in nature. We all think we are invincible, but we also know that life events can take their toll. Get the help you need when you need it. Contact ALPA's Pilot Peer Support.
Thank you. Well, I'm proud to announce that the first class of volunteers for the Pilot Peer Support Program took place at the recent Air Safety Forum. And many of the folks who took part in that program, so in addition to training their MECs and serving on their MECs, have volunteered to help their fellow pilots at other MECs as well when our new 24/7 PPS hotline comes online, which is predicted to come online probably in a month or two. So, I want to also point out that for a number of years, our Canadian members have had a similar peer support model that has worked for them as well, as have our 3 largest MECs here in the United States. And now we're very close to providing pilot peer support for any ALPA member, regardless of the size and resources available to them. So it's a great achievement. Our volunteers are doing a fantastic job. So switching to jump seats for a moment. The Aviation Jump Seat Group, led by Captain Rich Odbert, which is tasked with defending the pilot and command authority over flight deck access, has truly been hard at work since becoming ASO's 4th pillar now. He used to have safety, security, pilot assistance, and now jump seats. In late 2017, thanks to the Executive Board. Thank you for that. During the Air Safety Forum, they released a video on proper jump seat etiquette for all airline pilots, which has now been viewed, this might have broke a record, more than 30,000 times. Their work is of utmost importance to our members, and I'm gratified to see it getting the attention that it deserves. So, now, finally, in my role as ALPA's Political Action Committee Treasurer, let's talk about the ALPA PAC. ALPA PAC continues to stand strong and support elected officials who protect professional pilots. From January of 2017 until August of 2018, ALPA PAC has raised more than $3.77 million from more than 12,100 ALPA members, and we're on track for another record-setting year. In this midterm election cycle, The PAC has dispersed more than $4 million in pilot partisan contributions to Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives. Now, let me repeat that. I have to do this all the time. I can't believe I still have to do this. Our PAC gives to Republicans and Democrats. We are not a one-party PAC. In fact, we are a pilot partisan PAC, the most bipartisan labor PAC in the country this last cycle. And our outreach to all sides of the political spectrum gives us an edge over those who oppose us, as the relationships we've built allow us access to places and conversations that others simply can't go. I encourage you to continue to speak to your members about this. I have seen it. I thought I knew what it could do, but it truly is an integral component to serving our pilots' needs. So please try to talk to them about that. So please continue to encourage your pilots to contribute to the PAC, because, as I've just said, it does pay off. Now, in closing, I'm humbled by what I see daily from our pilots and our staff. Their experience and expertise and enthusiasm fuel our advocacy efforts, add strength to our resolve, and give voice to our commitment to a safe and secure air transportation system, now and for the future. We've made immense progress, but the work is far from over. We're always looking for new ideas and fresh energy to add to our arsenal. So please, if you know of a pilot who shares this passion for safety, security, pilot assistance, or jump seat issues, please recruit them, send them my way. Now, even though our industry and airline piloting profession are currently experiencing favorable conditions and blue skies, we must be prepared for challenges that loom on the horizon. The nature of our work doesn't allow for complacency. Doesn't work in our airplanes, doesn't work here. We must remain ever vigilant, watching for threats, understanding and managing risks, taking advantage of opportunities, and advocating on behalf of the entire airline industry. And we must never forget, as we welcome the next generation of airline pilots to our ranks, we're also influencing our next generation of union leaders and future safety representatives. And we'll hear more about that from Captain Connell here. Captain Couette here in a moment. That concludes my report for this morning. Thank you, ExpressJet, for this hoarse voice that I have today. I appreciate that. It was a very entertaining evening. And that concludes my report. Thank you for your attention, and please fly safety. Thank you very much.